What's going on, everybody? I am just about to leave and go see Ghostbusters Afterlife with my wife. Normally, I record this portion in the car at the theater, but I was like, I'll just do it in my basement in front of my Collateral poster. Why? Because it's so cool. But yeah, so I'm excited to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Last summer, when everything was shut down, no theaters were open, there was a drive-in about an hour and a half away from me, and they were playing Ghostbusters, and my wife and I went, and that's actually the first time she ever saw Ghostbusters. Her first experience with Ghostbusters was at that drive-in, which is kind of cool, and I'm excited to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife with her. So, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'll let you know what I think.
It has a gunner seat?
What's going on, everybody? So I just saw Ghostbusters Afterlife and I really had a good time with it. That's my biggest takeaway. So if you're waiting for like the end of the video for me to say whether or not I liked it, my biggest takeaway was I had a good time. From the acting to the laughs to the spooks. Sometimes there were some good jump scares. I like that a lot too. This movie, for actors, I can't name all the actors off the top of my head, and there's some spoilery actors that I definitely don't want to name, so I will just say Paul Rudd is my favorite thing about this movie, because that's what I can say in a non-spoiler review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. The plot is good. It's a little long. The beginning of the movie, the plot is it takes some time to build. It needs that time to build. By the end, it's a good payoff, but it is a little bit of time. It's 2 hours and you do feel the runtime. Maybe on future viewings, there'll be a little bit I'd take out here and there, but I don't want to nitpick this movie. I actually enjoyed this, and I think that it did a good job telling the story that it needed to tell. Overall, I will say that if you're a Ghostbusters fan of the original Ghostbusters movie, I'm not talking about 2016 Answer the Call bullshit. I'm talking about the original Ghostbusters, or even Ghostbusters 2. If you were a fan of either of those movies, you will be a fan of this movie. For some reasons I can't say, and also just for nostalgia, they throw a lot of that in there. So if you enjoyed either of the Ghostbusters movie, if you were like, yeah, I liked those movies, even if you just liked them, like you didn't love them, then you'll like this movie. If you love them, I think you'll love this movie. There's some spoilery things I really wish we could talk about. I'm not gonna go into those details. I will say that this has brought a lot of heart toward the end of the movie, and I like that a lot about it too. My only negative, my only dislike for this movie is that there's no Slimer, and that may be a spoiler to some people, but it's a fucking green ghost. There was no Slimer, and that was disappointing to me personally as a fan. There was a ghost that took its place, kind of like Slimer, that I thought was Slimer in the previews, and it's not. He served a purpose, and I understand why they had him in there, but they could have thrown Slimer in there somewhere. Just could have whizzed through something. It would have been nice, but that's fine. There are 2 after credit scenes, so if you guys haven't seen this movie yet, stay for the after credit scenes. They're both good. The first one, they're both good. I liked them both. I'll be honest with you, they were both a lot of fun, and the end of the last after credit scene was a little bit longer of a scene, which was nice, but the ending of that kind of maybe a sequel in the works going in a different direction. That was also really cool. I like that a lot too. Or maybe they're gonna spin that off to a show. I'd be all right with that too. So yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. I think it was a good time. Probably would have hit a little better. I'm curious to see how it does in theaters. My theater was full, but I'm curious to see how it does in theaters because it seemed more summer blockbustery or even Halloween, but they dropped it in November because of the time slate, the pandemic, and all that other nonsense. So if you haven't seen Ghostbusters yet, I definitely recommend check it out this weekend or when you can. And if you have seen Ghostbusters, well, tell me your thoughts. We can even talk spoilers in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching this review, guys. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button, the share button, and most importantly, the subscribe button. We're almost at 200, and that's just exciting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Okay, after credit scene, because we gotta have one. I was in the theater tonight, and there was 3 rows of kids, teenagers, and 2 adults. And the adults were not being adults. And those kids were so annoying. Why do people feel the need to pay full price for tickets and snacks and drinks, and then not only talk the entire movie, ruin the experience for everybody else, but then trash their seats? It doesn't make me want to go back to the theater. Like, I'm a big proponent of the theater. Obviously, I love the theater. I love going there. If I get the chance to see a movie on the big screen versus seeing it at home, I'd rather see it on the big screen. But moments like this, nights like this, where half the movie is talked through and it's just annoying to sit through, makes me say, I'm glad HBO Max put everything to like, makes me, like, when Matrix comes out at the end of this year, I kind of just want to watch it in my movie theater room. I would much prefer to see it on a big screen, but not if I'm going to have that kind of a crowd. I don't know. It's just irritating. if you've run into that, if you've had issues like that since the pandemic sort of has subsided and people are going back to theaters, let me know, because I've seen it more recently. And I know it used to be like that a lot, so maybe it's just the world is healing and so movie theaters are annoying again, but I don't know. It leaves me feeling annoyed and wishing that there were less people there. I don't know. That's my thoughts.